At this time, I'd like to welcome Lee Howard to the stage. Lee will be presenting a 10-minute lightning talk entitled Justify Your Travel Costs, or How I Convinced My Boss to Stop Worrying and Send Me to NANOG Again. He sent us the abstract, but not the title, so we had a little fun with it, and I apologize for nothing.
I was going to say it wasn't my title and decided maybe I didn't need to be quite so pointed. My real goal is I wanted to say, and I sort of had this conversation in the hallway in San Diego. After the members meeting, we were talking about what is it, how are we serving our members well, are we serving our community well? How do we know whether we're having the right content? And how do people know what to go back and take back to the people back at home? So I sort of wanted to make sure that people are remembering, not just go home and say, boy, NANOG was great, I had a great time, but what is it you're taking back to your office? And I think people may need reminders. So maybe not everybody remembers what happened on Monday. Maybe some people say, oh, but the best gem I had was on Monday. And maybe somebody else says, oh, I wasn't even there for that session. I need to go back and watch that. So here's what I really hope will happen. I'm hoping that people will jump up to the microphones and say, this is one thing I learned this week that was great that I'm taking back to talk to my boss and my colleagues about. And I'm hoping that people will just jump up to the mic and say, this was the best part for me. I'm definitely going to go talk about this some more. And if we have lines at the mic, maybe people who've been here for a little while might look back behind them and go, oh, here's a newcomer. I want to let them get to the front of the mic line.
And just as a note, we have a comment on the online chat saying that they cannot hear the people asking questions at the mic, so if you could just repeat those, please.
Repeat the question. I will repeat the questions from the mic.
Is this thing on? Don't be bashful. Every one of you learned something new, I know, this week, so get up to the mics. Come on.
I could even see the conversation because I learned something in the hallway track that apparently Proofpoint has shut down Sorbs. I did not know that was coming, and I went looking today and ran a scan on some IP addresses, and it went really, really fast because Sorbs wasn't there, had no data.
Oh, okay. My name is Thiago. I work for Juno. Well, one of the things that impressed me a little bit, being like an engineer in Juno, and we kind of help the legal team with some regulatory stuff, and one of the lightning talks was like FCC is worrying about network security and NANOG should worry about that, like NANOG comment should worry about that. So being myself an engineer that sometimes needs to deal with regulatory stuff, it impresses me that like a government, it's kind of involving stuff that they, at least like most of people that work in the government actually don't know what they're talking about, and like how much we should invest our time making sure that they don't do like dumb proposals that ended up passing and making our lives hell because we need to do like 10 more reports each month. So this is a thing that concerned me a little bit. Maybe like this might not happen in Brazil and affect my life, but it might affect some people in the community.
Adair, you need me to repeat that for remote participants? Short.
Word for word.
Short. I won't do it word for word, but essentially it was a presentation about not just RPKI. It was a lightning talk. There's not just RPKI, but that the U.S. federal government is interested in RPKI and has put out a proposed notice of proposed rulemaking and asking for feedback. And maybe we as network engineers need to be paying attention to some of the regulatory environment to make sure that they don't do dumb things with regards to the networks we operate.
I have two. I'm proxying one of them, and one of them is mine, and I'm shamelessly going to admit, wow, that was an easy one. I should have known that. But thanks to Chris for giving it to me. Sometimes we have to build sock puppets. We have to build fake identities to be able to do research and so forth. And I always sometimes struggle with figuring out a birth date. Chris gave me a great idea last night. Unix epoch. Hello, duh. So, I mean, it's literally something that was easy to remember and learn. I'm going to proxy one from one of our newcomers to the event. And
hang on, let me repeat the first one for the,
sure,
for the folks at home,
physical effects,
which is with musical effects, is that when creating a dummy profile to do testing or troubleshooting or something, you need a birth date, and Unix epoch is a useful name.
You did that well. Thank you. Uh, the second is a proxy from one of our newcomers that came to this event. And she said that one of the great things that she's taking away was how inviting and receptive our community was. She was very scared of coming to the event and wasn't sure how well being somebody who wasn't a router geek was going to be able to fit in. And her response was, it was really cool.
That's very exciting. So
So
a newcomer said that even not being a router geek, they were anxious about being here and felt very embraced, warmed, and welcomed, and had an excellent conference.
All right, Steve Shalane, Iowa State University, newcomer, longtime lurker on YouTube. Take home, CVSS scores are not the same thing as the sky is falling.
Yes. I learned that too, actually. That CVSS scores are not the same as the sky is falling. That one I did word for word.
They can actually hear you now, but keep going.
Okay, good. I don't have to do impressions anymore.
I didn't say that. Patrick, what did you learn this week?
There are headshots for members.
Good talk. All right, we got 8 minutes left in this. I'm just going to keep calling on people. Ryan, what did you learn this week?
Ooh, what did I learn this week? gRPC.
Go on.
How it can be very interesting compared to NetConf and basing and formulating responses, things like that.
Sweet.
Adair, we have one at the mic.
Oh, awesome.
Hi, Adair. How are you? My name is Austin. I'm with Consolidated Communications. Not a newcomer, but occasional attendee. Two different things. One is related to community and meeting people, and meeting companies of similar size with similar challenges that are finding unique ways of solving those problems, and hearing that directly from someone who's implementing those solutions. Very eye-opening.
Perfect.
And vague enough to keep them and myself happy. Second is the surprising impact of 1% packet loss. So very surprising, very quantifiable, and being that we operate a network that has lots of end customers on it, there are always links that are suspect, and now that raises the profile of those links. So very useful work.
Great.
Nimrod Levy, AT&T. Also not a newcomer, but I've presented here a number of times, and some of the things I work on and talk about, I feel like sometimes are kind of niche things. And it's always really gratifying to talk to people about them and realize that there are lots of other people that are actually genuinely interested in these things and are working on these things and want to know about these things. And I also heard similar feedback from other newcomers about how separately that they feel they've never felt like they've asked a dumb question. Even if it was a basic question that many of us who have been around for a long time know lots about, they're never made to feel dumb for asking such a question. And that's a really amazing thing about this community.
Good job.
To illustrate the danger of letting me know your name, Joanne, what did you learn this week?
This is the danger of working with Adair every day. Hi, everyone. Joanne Bender, Internet 2. What I learned this week was not technical. It was, even as a relative newcomer, there was ways I could contribute to help other brand newcomers do things. and also learned how awesome it is being a sponsor, so which we greatly enjoyed. And I was talking to Lee right before this. What will I take back to work is a list of talks everyone should go watch. And that's how I usually pitch the NANOG value proposition of look at all this cool stuff you can send people to go do. And that's really going to be my big bring home to Michigan thing. So thanks, Adair.
I'm Sebastian from Ionos. I really took away the key opener in the beginning. Well, I think it was the first keynote that we really have to take care about young talents learning networking, because networking is kind of special. It's not software development, but it's really directly connected to it these days. And also the day-to-day problems everyone else has. So we are also planning and building IPv6 only networks, and having talks about that, how to deal with that was great.
Cool. I don't think we're going to take questions.
Does anyone have any questions for Lee? Sweet. Thank you.